All right, cool. So this class is going to be centered on the piriformis muscle in our hips. And so before we kind of get moving into the postures, it's good to make sure that you can visualize that muscle in your mind's eye. So to help with that, if you think about your sacrum, your tailbone, how it's just kind of curved in like that at the very base of your spine, underneath the tailbone, there is a muscle that goes horizontally, and it's underneath the glutes. So it's underneath the tailbone, underneath the glutes, and it goes horizontally from each top of the leg bone. The top of the femur, the piriformis goes from here to here, and it's deep. It's buried underneath the glutes, your tailbone, all the other muscles. And so considering that it's such a deep muscle, you have to do deep yoga postures to get there. So the best one to help with this piriformis muscle is pigeon pose, which we do almost every class, just laying on the ground with our leg in front and we lay over it. But you can do this pigeon pose probably 20 different ways. And we're going to go over about 6 of them today. And first, we're going to be using the chair for it, and also meditating on the chair. And with this piriformis muscle in mind, it's going to help us work with body awareness. So when you can imagine that muscle in your hips, then in each posture, you can kind of ask yourself, am I feeling it where I need to be? Can I feel the sensation deep in my glutes at the top of my femur? That will be your piriformis. And if you don't feel that stretch there, that's when body awareness comes into play. Okay, what can I do to make it deeper to get to that point? And our brains, our bodies are intelligent enough to adjust, to fix ourselves and eventually get there. But it takes body awareness. So instead of just kind of getting into the posture and staying there, explore. See if you can get a little bit deeper, bring the piriformis to your mind's eye, use your body awareness in that way. And we're also going to be taking this concept of body awareness into our meditation. We're going to be doing meditation on our 5 senses, which is really helpful for anxiety. When you're anxious, scared, upset, you might not be able to feel your fingertips or your toes. And so just coming into contact with these senses, your sense of touch, smell, taste, hearing, what you can see, that's a very grounding experience. So it's easy to do. It doesn't have to just be in today's meditation. It can be something you can use going forward when things come up. And then after we work on this 5 senses meditation, a lot of the asanas, the physical yoga poses that we're going to be doing to get to our piriformis, it's going to require balance. So if you think about just like standing on one leg, you'll feel that deep in your glutes, and that's the piriformis. So just working on balance itself takes a lot of body awareness, and that's why we're going to have our props to rely on, and then we can close out the practice with a body scan. So all of these things are just good for getting a better connection with our body, sensations, and just kind of working on body awareness. So if you want to sit tall in your chair, take all these adjustments. Don't just sit right into the meditation. Really adjust yourself. Move your hips, move your back, your shoulders, maybe move your neck, turn side to side. And then you can come into a place of stillness where you can lengthen the spine from the bottom of the hips to the crown of your head. You really should have the dryer. Just lengthening out the spine as much as you can. Keeping the eyes closed. Letting the shoulders melt down. And then feeling the buoyancy in your chest, of yourself breathing. You can feel this pattern of rising and falling, as well as your heartbeat. It's just coming into contact with that. And for our senses, we're going to start with taste. So bringing your attention to your mouth, just picking out one specific thing that you can taste. Noting what it is, labeling it. And really sitting with this sensation, figuring out what that taste is. And we're going to move on to our sense of smell. Breathing in whatever you can pick up. Picking up two distinct scents. They could be faint. And moving on to hearing, welcoming in any noises that you can hear. The sound of my voice, the background music, maybe a fan, something going on outside. Seeing if you can pick out three distinct things that you can hear, however close or far away. And moving on towards our sense of touch. Feeling the weight of your body, sit in this chair. Hands on your thighs. The feeling of the fabric of your shirt or pants. Maybe how your skin feels. The temperature of your skin. Picking up four distinct things that you're touching or can pick up on. Whether it's just your back leaning on the chair, anything like that. Four things. And lastly, moving on to what we can visualize in our mind's eye. So keeping the eyes closed, picturing yourself seated here, what the room looks like, and picking out five things that you can visualize. let go of our senses and just be seated here in silence, seeing if you can relax any areas of tension that you might be holding on to. Could be the jaw, the shoulders, your spine, your hips, all the way down the legs. Gently, when you're ready, slow as you can, opening up the eyes very gently. Just bringing your attention back to the room and deepening the breath. And deep inhale and exhale. We're going to slowly move the right leg just on top, moving very slow, no need to rush. We can take our hands and push down on the right knee, just trying to level things out a bit more. Deepening the breath. Feel free to close the eyes here. And gently folding over the right shin, letting the arms hang, the head hang heavy. And now you can really feel it deep in the glute. You can begin to kind of think about where your piriformis muscle might be. If this stretch is felt there, maybe you can imagine that piriformis lengthening out and breathing into that space. Letting the head hang heavy. And deep breath, slowing it down. And gently we can roll up and just begin to do that on the other side, getting the left leg up, sitting tall, lengthening the spine and pushing down on the left knee. And then on an exhale, melting down, letting the arms and head hang. And breathing into that space where the piriformis is felt. Each exhale, there's a relaxation response. Also just breathing into how different this side might feel compared to the other one. One more deep breath here. And gently, we're just going to roll up and come out of the position. We can stand up and we're going to get rid of the chair. You can just move it out of the way. And then we'll meet back at standing. You can ground down the feet when you're ready. Really think about engaging the legs. So this could be an easy thing to just stand here, but we're going to make it difficult. We're going to engage quads, the hamstrings, engage the calves. Maybe we can look down and spread the toes, ground down our feet on the outsides, and then open up the hands, spread the fingers, drop the shoulders. Open up the chest, let the shoulders roll back, shoulder blades are down the back. Head is lifted, and we're going to lift the hands all the way up. Hands come together, and then they come apart, and we're diving down with a heavy chest, slowly to a forward fold. Hips are lifted high, shifting the weight of your body towards the toes. Halfway lift, lengthening the spine from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Setting the hands down, walking the feet back to plank. We're going to chaturanga, squeezing the elbows into the rib cage, lowering down, swimming the heart through the chest, through the shoulders. Trying to press out just a little bit more, dropping the hips, the knees, sending the hips back. Active toes, we're lifting into down dog. Knees are bent. We're going to melt the chest and rib cage towards the thighs, and then straighten the legs as much as you can, lifting the hips high, looking towards the belly button. Walking the feet up to your hands. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Hands extend behind you, and it pulls you all the way up to standing. Hands come together. Back down to heart center. Taking a deep breath here, filling up the lungs. Letting the breath pour out. I'm dropping the hands. We're gonna get our books or blocks if you've got them. So with the books, I've got one set that's standing up tall in front, and then one down. So it's the same thing with the blocks. And we're just gonna get our right foot on the block, and then make sure that you're stable there, grounding down through the right leg. And we're just gonna start swinging our leg, our left leg. And maybe you don't drop the chest in the beginning if you're feeling like you really just kind of want to take it slow. You could just work on this. And then over time, maybe dip, almost kind of like warrior 3. And just a couple of them. Okay. We're gonna go out towards the side. So we'll start just like this, however many times you'd like. Then you could try kind of going into like almost like an ice skater, bringing it behind you as much as you can. So a little bit of a squat. Okay, coming up for tree pose, we could start at the books or the block. Stabilize there and then slide up to the calf. If you'd like, totally optional, then you can climb up using your hand. We're going to avoid the knee. If you want to try going to the thigh. And wherever you're at in tree pose, just grounding down through this right leg. And breathing into the calf muscles, the ankle, hamstring and quads, the glutes. One more deep breath here. And then we're going to gently come out of it. And we can release the legs, shake them out, and really shake them out and check. And then you can come down for a forward fold if that feels good. Lifting the hips. Halfway lift. And rising up when you're ready. We're going to get back on the block, your book. And we're just going to, again, ground down. Really go slow here. And we're going to lift this left knee up. You can pull it up for this wind release pose. And it's lifting the knee up to the chest. And then we can lower down. And we're going to keep the right hand on the knee as we twist and look towards the left. So maybe we start out just looking towards the side, and then our gaze can incrementally go back behind us. Great job. Coming back to the center. We're going to let go of the knee, and we're just going to float it. See if we can really reach back far as we can with the toes. Land there at a 45-degree angle. And we're going to get our blocks, our books, set them on the inside of the right foot. And then we're going to lift up again. Back foot's at 45 degrees. Both legs are straight. Hips are square. And then we're going to just gently lean forward with the right hand, finding that block. And then the left hand reaches up high as you can towards the ceiling, sending the hips back. See if you can open up the chest by rotating your chest up towards the ceiling a little bit more. Very nice. And deep breath here. We're going to come down back to center. And we're just going to take this block in front of us a couple of inches. And then our weight shifts forward. Left hand to hip. And that left foot floats up. And we're trying to open up the chest towards the ceiling. And maybe it just goes towards the side of us at first. Yep, it's okay if you fall. It's okay if you wobble. One more breath here. And gently coming down. You did great. We're going to shake out the legs. I know that's not easy. As long as we're smiling through it, we're not taking it too seriously, and it's all good. Can get back on the block when you're ready. And then we're going to ground down and lift this left knee high. And we're going to bring it over for eagle. So the first one is just one bind at the thighs. Second bind comes down at the ankle here. Making sure that you can stabilize with this left one being on top. And then the right arm comes on top for eagle arms. Finding at the elbows, the hands. And we're going to come in together. And I know it's a burn. We're welcoming it in, breathing into it. One more breath. Gently coming out of eagle to standing pigeon. If you fall, that's great. Just smile. Make sure you're not taking it too seriously. And we're just going to make our way to standing pigeon. If it's just standing and not bent, totally fine. If the knees are really bent and you're all the way down here, maybe you need your blocks, that's great too. Anything you can try out here. It doesn't have to look the same. Okay, we're lifting up and we're gonna balance. Yep, get the right foot on. And then we're gonna float back this left foot far as you can. Good. And then we're gonna set our hands and just kind of shift to the outside of our right foot. So the right foot is lifted up on these blocks. And we're just gonna rock into lizard. And when you're ready, setting the left knee down, back foot is flat as well. We're gonna put our weight into this left hand, so the right hand's light, can push the knee out, flaring it, opening up the chest, the shoulders. And taking a deep breath here and twist dragon. Right arm is going to come up overhead and you're reaching as much as you can. And then we're going to reach back towards that heel, opening up the chest. One more breath here. And coming back to center, we can step off of the blocks and then get into a table, and from table into a loaded position where knees are bent and you're melting the rib cage to the thighs. From this loaded position, just taking turns into a front step on each side. We'll go about 3 times each way. Okay, and into down dog. We're gonna work on this yogi transition from down dog to seated. So the first one is to walk the feet to your hands, cross the ankles, and sit down. And we're gonna try that again. So just same way as we got into it, we're gonna go back out to down dog. And the second level to that would be to press in your down dog and jump up to crossing your ankles and sitting from there, which is gonna take a couple tries. It's okay. So we're just jumping up, and you don't even have to jump, you could walk. We're just trying it out, playing a little bit. Okay, and however you got there, we're gonna meet in seated here, and we're gonna get the right leg on top. And you can kind of just walk your chest up to your shin, however much you need. Maybe you can sit your glutes closer to your heels and walk even more. Up to you. And just noticing the breath. We kind of did a lot of movement there and slowing it down. Seeing if you can lengthen out the inhale, slow down the exhale. Feel free to close the eyes. 2 more rounds of breath, slow down. When you're ready, we're gonna Very gently remove this left leg that's holding our right leg up. And you might land in this Z-sit. That's a good place to begin with pigeon, is to just, if pigeon is really hard for you, maybe just kind of melting down into the Z-sit. That would be level 1. Level 2 would be bringing your foot to your groin and elongating that back leg for sleeping swan. Or you could do pigeon, getting the front leg more of a 90-degree angle, which is really best supported with these books or blocks underneath the right glute. And then just melting down into it however you can. I'm trying to find a place where you can drop the head. And this is one of those poses where you really want to take your time getting into your adjustments of what feels good here so that you're not uncomfortable the whole time. And we're going to be here for about a minute or so. So try to slow down everything as much as you can. Slowing down the breath. And relaxing what muscles you can. And softening the jaw, the neck, down the chest and spine, down to the hips. And very gently, we're just gonna push up out of the posture the way that we came in, just the way that we'll get out. Sitting off to the side, back to that C-sit. And you can make your way onto your back very slowly. And the right leg can come on top. And then the left knee comes in close to the chest. And it's up to you if you just want to hug the shin in close, or if you want to have the left leg extended for a hamstring stretch and pull it in close to the head. Either way, making sure that you can feel the sensation in the piriformis and adjusting how you need. Relaxing the jaw, And breathing into the hip space. And seeing if you can slow down the breath. Long inhale. Slow down exhale. We're going to gently come out of the posture. Begin to roll on our back just a couple times. And we're going to use this energy to get back up to standing. So however you can do that, just making your way to standing. Very nice. We're going to use the blocks again. So we're going to take care of our other side. So just getting the blocks ready. One is tall, one is down on its side. Awesome. Okay, so left foot and leg swings. So it can start with the chest just up like this, and as you're more comfortable with this movement, you can drop down. And it doesn't have to be fast, it doesn't have to look like anyone else's. And if you feel quite serious about this, see if you can crack a smile, play with it a bit more. Okay, we're going to go out to the side now. And we're just welcoming in the burn. Just a couple more. Okay, we're going to come up into tree. So whatever that looks like. And seeing if we can flare out the right knee a little bit more. Really ground down through the leg. Let's take 2 rounds of breath here, slowing it down. And gently we'll come out of this, shake out the legs. Really shake them out. And come into a forward fold for a moment if that feels okay. Maybe sway side to side. You could grab elbows. This is a great way to lengthen out the piriformis, open up the low back. You can roll up when you're ready. And the left foot's gonna get back on the block, grounding down. We're gonna lift the right knee up high as you can. We're really growing tall here as much as we can, lifting up the crown of our head. And then we're turning it into a spinal twist. So the left hand stays across the body as the right hand goes behind you. Maybe your gaze is just to the side at first. And as you're comfortable, it goes a little bit more behind you. And coming back to center. Make sure you're breathing as we step back. We're going to float it up high as you can. Step back, land into it. We're going to get our block placed on the inside of the foot. Okay, hips are square. We're straightening the legs, sending the hips back. We're melting over the front. So this left hand is going to reach for the block as the right hand goes up towards the ceiling. And please adjust here. If it doesn't feel right, your body knows it's not right and can make it work by just adjusting a little bit. Awesome. Gently coming back to center. Our left hand grabs the blocks, puts it in front of us, and our weight is going in the left side of our body. So the right side of our body floats up. Our foot is high, right hand on the hip. You could start looking down and then shift towards looking towards the side, slowly rotating the body up towards the ceiling. One more breath. Gently setting the foot down, standing up tall, shaking out the legs. We're going to get back on the block. Okay, and the right knee lifts high. And we're getting it to eagle. So 1 or 2 binds. The right leg being on top, the left arm goes on top. And then we're crunching in towards the center, closing in. A little bit of tension here, breathing into that. And gently coming up, make sure you're breathing, letting go of it, into standing pigeon. It could be straight, or it could be knees bent. Let's take 2 rounds of breath here. We got this. We're strong. And lifting up. We're going to send this right leg back far as we can, setting the hands down to the outside of the left foot. We're rocking in lizard. Back knee goes down, back foot is flat, grounding down through the right hand, left hand pushes the knee away. Opening up the chest, swimming the heart through, looking up. Left arm goes overhead, reaching as much as you can. And reaching the hand back towards the heel, pressing the chest even more out. A little bit of a back bend here. And coming back to center. Get that foot off the block, onto the ground, push the block out of the way. We're gonna get into tabletop. From tabletop to loaded position into our front steps. And we'll do 3 on each side. And 2, your down dog. We're going to try that yogi transition. So it's up to you if you walk to your hands or if you want to try jumping. If you jump, try and bend the knees, look towards your hands, your hips are back, and then you jump up, cross the feet, sit down. So it doesn't have to be perfect, just play with it. Nice Justin. And so however you get there, we're gonna get the left leg in front. However you can, see if you can try and make it even. I know it feels a little different from the other side. You can walk your hands a little bit closer up, scoot the hips closer to the foot, walk a little more. And feel free to close the eyes. And breathing into the piriformis muscle, the hip space. And slowing down the breath as much as you can. Maybe you could turn it to a 4-count breath where you're breathing in for 4, pausing, exhaling for 4, pausing. And we're gonna let this right leg that's supporting us, we're gonna let it go. And we're gonna kind of fall into a Z-sit. So whatever variation you did on the other side, whether it was a Z-sit, sleeping swan, or pigeon, do that same thing on this side. And feel free to use the blocks to stuff the hip, making all the adjustments that you can so that you can rest easy here. And bringing your mind to the piriformis, deep in the glute, from the tailbone to the top of the femur, that horizontal muscle. Really imagining it being lengthened here. You can feel it. And if there's any tightness that you're holding on to in this area, seeing if you can soften that. Maybe by letting go of the jaw, softening the neck, and the shoulders, all the way down the spine, into the hips, where your piriformis is. Relaxing this area, using the breath. And checking back in with the breath, seeing if you can slow it down to that 4-count breath. Breathing in for 4, exhaling for 4. Gently pushing yourself up very slowly. Removing props if you've got them underneath you, coming back into that Z sit. And then on your back, very slowly. We're going to get the left leg on top. Just bringing it into your chest. And if you extended the leg on the other side, you can do that here as well. And breathing into that hip space. Slowing down. And when you're ready, we're just going to gently let go of this reverse pigeon and make our way into happy baby. Hands grabbing the outside of the feet, pulling the knees in towards the armpits. And we're going to work on 2 oppositional pulling motions. So the first one is that we're trying to get our knees down to the ground almost by our armpits. And when you initially pull down like that, your tailbone, your hips, they kind of curl up like a bowl. And so that's the second part, is grounding down the tailbone, the low back, dropping the hips, and then coming back to the knees again and seeing if you can pull them down a little bit more. Drop the tailbone a little bit more. And eventually you'll feel the low back completely on the ground. And get a good hip opener here. You can rock to the side. I'm getting a bit of a back massage. And straightening one leg. And then the other. Maybe straightening both of them out, seeing how that feels. And coming back to happy baby. We're going to squeeze the knees in. And we're going to keep the head lifted up. We're going to keep this tension. So we hold on to the left knee. Straighten out the right leg and try to ground down as much as you can with the heel, with your calves, hamstring. One more breath here. Other side. Deep breath. And coming back together, creating tension. Letting go of that tension completely. Knees come together. And your feet are apart. We've got one hand on our heart, one hand on our stomach. Working on that body of awareness, of coming in contact with the breath, how it feels. Slowing it down. As well as your heartbeat, seeing if you can feel that out. And gently kicking out the legs, letting the ankles fall naturally. And close out the practice with a body scan. So as we go down from head to toe, we're just relaxing these specific muscles. So we can start with the head. Think about the weight of your skull, how heavy it is, and how the ground supports that weight. Moving down the neck, relaxing the back of the neck, the sides, and the front of your neck, down the chest. And feeling the buoyancy of your lungs and chest cavity, your rib cage, and belly. This area is completely soft and light. Feeling the weight of your arms all the way down the fingertips, down to the sensation where you can feel your fingernails, and all the way back up your arms where you could feel the hair, the muscles, the skin, all the way back up the chest, down the stomach, to the hips. The hips are open, relaxed, and heavy. And down the legs, you can feel the thickness of the muscles there, how strong they are. And these muscles are completely softened. Feeling the support of the ground, down to the ankles and the toes. Softening the whole body here. Couple minutes of deep rest. You can gently wiggle the fingers and toes, gently bringing movement back into the body. And slowly make our way onto our favorite side. Using the bottom arm as a pillow. And taking a couple moments to rest here. Soaking up this feeling, the work of your practice, and letting it wash over the body. And gently pushing yourself up to seated. You can keep the eyes closed if you like. We'll close out with 3 deep breaths, filling up the lungs as much as we can. Pausing, emptying out the breath, pausing at the bottom. Big breath in, and pausing at the top, emptying out, pausing. Last one, deepest inhale you've taken all day. And pause. And letting go of the breath. Sitting up tall, gently opening the eyes. Thank you guys so much for practicing today. Hope the hips feel good.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness.
Oh, was it okay, Rachel?
That was amazing, Christy. Holy cow. That was really amazing, really challenging, but really good. I didn't realize how much I needed that. I've been sitting a lot lately and my hips are really tight.
Oh yeah,
gosh.
made our hips feel great. Yeah.
He's a developer, works from home, and he's like sitting in his office chair. And when I was trying to like think about this Piriformis thing, part of it is from sitting that makes it so tight. So this is like one of the best things we could do if we have a day job like that. So hopefully it feels good. And I'm so glad to see you, Rachel. You made my whole week here. Same with you, Robert. Thank you so much. And Justin.
You guys just need
Thank
to
you.
invest in the sit-stand desks. Justin.
Everyone
I do.
is like, everyone is like shoving that down Justin's throat, and he's just like, okay.
Hey, I've had them for years. It's great. Get it. It's worth it.
We're moving into a van, so maybe.
I mean, that's going to be terrible for Justin's back. Justin, you're going to be walking like
my
8 feet
gosh.
in no time.
That'll be all right.
We're a hot mess. It's all right. All right,
feel.
guys. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, guys.
Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, hey, yeah, I forgot about that. Thank you so much. I'll see you probably for your next session. That was amazing.
Cool. Thank you, Rachel. So good to see you.
Thanks for inviting me. Good to see you guys.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Go Chiefs.
Go, not Tom Brady. Yeah.